Hi everyone, we're here in the polytunnel. It's me and Peter again, and today we're talking about how to grow broccoli. We'll start with the seeding up. We've got a tray ready that Ryan's prepared for us. Ryan's hiding behind the camera because he doesn't want to be seen. What are we going to do after we've done the seeding up?
After the seeding up, we'll be going to one of the beds outside. It's currently converted into a cold frame, and we're going to move the broccoli we planted a few weeks ago, and we're going to move it into a full bed where it can grow better.
So we'll get started. So the first thing that we need to do is just make a mixture of soil that we can use, a sort of potting mix for the broccoli. So we're going to do equal parts of topsoil, which is just a sort of fairly fine, good quality soil, and compost. So the compost that we're using at the moment is the coconut husks, and we've had really good results with this. So it is more expensive, but if you can get hold of it, it's well worth it. So I've done 3 trowels of each, and I'm just going to mix it.
So what I'm doing now is seeding the trays up for the new broccoli to be seeded up with the mix of compost and topsoil. So what I'm doing now is I'm compressing the soil into the little sections just to firm it down, ready for the seed.
So the next part of the job is to make little holes in each of these modules. So we're sowing in modules just because it means that we can get more in the space, and it's a nice small container for them to start growing in. It gives the roots some soil to hold on to, and then we've got them all together so that we can move them into beds. Keeps the same plants together because, as you can see, we've got lots of different plants growing, and it makes it easy for us to know what's what. So I've made a little hole in each of those squares, and now I've got the seeds. So broccoli seeds look like this. Most brassica seeds look like this. So we want 1 in each of the holes. We're not going to worry if 2 fall in, but we're aiming for 1 in each of the holes. And this is just from Wilco's green Calabrese broccoli. So we do successional sowing. So I've got the rest of these seeds, we'll save them, put them back in the packet, and we'll use them. In 2 weeks we'll go through the same process. So that means that we'll get our first batch of broccoli plants, and then 2 weeks later we'll get our second batch, and it means that we don't get a glut and we don't end up with food going to waste. So we have it for a longer time through the season. So this is not our first batch of broccoli, I think this is about our 3rd, and we've been seeding up every 2 weeks since early March, late February. So, oh, I'm losing a few seeds there, and now we're ready for the next bit.
So what we do with every tray that we do and seed up, we label them up so you have some sort of identification, because when they don't sprout, all trays just look the same, and when they're very early seedlings it's very difficult to differentiate between what you've planted. So as shown, this is what we've planted, and all we do is just write on a bit of sticky paper what it is, and we also like to date it. So we date it because of successional sowing, so we know, we mark it down, we track it, and every 2 weeks we do the next set. We normally do 2 of each week, 2 weeks, but for this video only we're doing 1. We get our tray here, and all we do is just stick it on. If we do it properly, maybe we do better. I should be doing this with gloves on. Here we are. There we go.
So that process that we just went through with the seeding up is the same for all brassicas. It's the same for a lot of plants really, not so much for roots or onions, but yeah, brassicas, tomatoes, cucumbers, other legumes,
Yeah.
we go through a similar process of doing the modules and labelling them up. So now we're out here at the cold frame.
Yeah, so in the cold frame currently we have various different seedlings, but specifically we're going to move the broccoli here that's got two leggy. Basically they've just grown and they've become very long and they're struggling to stand on their own. So what we're going to do is we're going to take them over to a new bed, and we're going to plant them in the bed and put in some sort of netting over them to protect them from any birds that may come scuffling during the night while we're not here.
Yep. So the cold frame is just a bed that's got some netting over it where the plants that have been in the polytunnel so far can be outside for a little bit before they get planted in the ground, just to get them used to the cold. And these ones are ready to move on.
So what we've done here is what we prepared earlier. Is we've got a bed and we put some netting over the bed, and each in thirds we've got blue hoop to keep the net up so it isn't just flat on the bed. Brassicas in particular very susceptible for birds to come in and start nibbling at the leaves and just destroying your crop. So we've put a net over it to sort of prevent the birds from getting on to the brassicas and destroying the crop.
So we've got all of the seedlings in now. We followed the spacing on the packet to begin with, which is 18 inches apart from the plants. Some of these won't make it, and we did run out of space, so we've come and filled in the spaces in between them with the ones that we had. So what we realised we should have done before we started was laid the pots out on the soil so that we could see how we were going to fit them all in. So we'll know for next time about that. But we'll come back in a few weeks and look at how the seedlings have done, and we'll update you on our Facebook videos. Anything you want to add?
Well, you've covered everything I was thinking of.
Brilliant. So we'll see you again soon. Bye.